Okay. Good morning to everybody. This is my 32nd or 30, 33rd, 34th or whatever. So nandito ako sa bahay ni Judge Marlo. I've been away for so long. I was busy with my duties as a dean. So ngayon lang ako nakapag-lecture ulit. Si Judge Marlo, ayun. Okay. Lahat ng mga gamit na yan, hindi sa akin, sa kanya lahat yan. Yung picture na yun sa asawa niya, hindi sa asawa ko yan. Yung asawa ko, nasa ibang bansa. Let's go to the meat of the issue, illegal dismissal. In my 20 years of teaching, in my almost a decade of being a bar reviewer, isa lang naman ang napuna ko. Ang meat talaga ng bar exam, insofar as labor law is concerned, is illegal dismissal. So I read, I studied, I analyzed questions in the bar exam, and it all boils down about around 50 to 60% on illegal dismissal. So dito tayo tututok, illegal dismissal. I would say that if you get the knack, get the acumen on answering illegal dismissal cases, and I would say kayang-kaya nyo nang hindi ma-disqualify. And kung halimbawang dagdagan nyo pa yan ng expertise on union issues, I would say na kaya nyo nang ipasa yung labor law. Kayang-kaya yan. So, ano yung mga common issues on illegal dismissal? If you read the voluminous books, the text, yung kung ano-anong katarang, ang daming mga bar reviewer on illegal dismissal. But in my analysis, it all boils down to at least 3 or 4 major issues. So itong, to be specific, 5 major issues. Kung makabisado nyo itong 5 major issues na ito, kayang-kaya nyo na. And what are the major issues I'm talking about? I'm talking about SPIT. What is SPIT? SPIIT. And what are SPIIT? S is security of tenure. P, proportionality doctrine. I, inimical to the employer doctrine. The other I, incompatibility doctrine. And the last but not the least, the T, totality doctrine. Again, as I was telling you, my dear bar reviewees, hirap ako mag-memorya. Hindi ako katulad ni Marlo na merong photographic memory. So I always get to have a mnemonic, a memory aid. Mga pusa nag-aaway, paalis mo nga. So, illegal dismissal. But of course, you have to go to the basic. In dealing with illegal dismissal, may mga ano yan, may mga nuances yan. Ano yung mga nuances? First, i-determine mo muna kung merong employer-employee relationship. Kasi kung walang employer-employee relationship, walang illegal dismissal. In fact, kung walang employer-employee relationship, walang jurisdiction yung labor arbiter. And second, babalik kayo dun sa ano ba yung status ng tao? Ano ba yung status ng individual? Is he a regular employee or is he a contractual or non-regular? When I say non-regular employees, yun, balik ka dun sa project-based ba siya, casual ba siya, probationary siya. Dapat alam nyo na yun at this point in time, na-lecture ko na yan, how do you determine kung merong employer-employee relationship? Yun muna ang titignan nyo. Pag nakita nyo sa exam na ang pinag-uusapan ay illegal dismissal, tignan nyo muna kagad kung merong employer-employee relationship. Kasi kung walang employer-employer relationship, tablahin nyo na. Sabihin nyo na this case should be answered as follows. Walang employer-employer relationship, therefore, walang jurisdiction yung arbiter. You cannot say that there is an illegal dismissal issue. Ngayon, kung hindi naman siya regular employee, hindi siya non-regular employee, tablahin nyo rin. Sabihin nyo there is no illegal dismissal issue here because probationary siya, so nag-finish contract. Kung halimbawang project-based siya, finish contract. Kung halimbawang casual siya, finish yung casual employment contract, doon yung bibirahin. But upon determination that there's an employer-employee relationship and the employee is a regular employee, diyan. Dito ngayon papasok ngayon yung sinasabi ko sa inyong apat na major issues: security of tenure, proportionality doctrine, inimical to the employer doctrine, ano pa ba yun? Incompatibility doctrine and totality doctrine. Yan. Ganyan lang. Huwag kayong masyadong seryoso. Madali lang yan. So, ano yung security of tenure? O, ano yon? Ano pag-usapan natin? Okay, I wouldn't be lecturing you on Supreme Court decisions. Kasi that is spoon feeding. Meron isang din ang sinasabi, you have to get the Supreme Court decisions. Well, siguro in other subjects but not in labor law. Dito alam nyo lang what is the concept, what is the idea, what is the essence of the doctrine, what is the essence of the law. Hindi nyo na kailangang basahin yung mga kung paulit-ulit na mga Supreme Court decisions niya. Paulit-ulit lang naman yan eh. Hahaba lang yung babasahin nyo. Iba-iba yung facts, pero yung doctrine pare-parehas. Doon sa mga bar exam nga, di ba? I mean, ako, paulit-ulit rin. Paulit-ulit yung doctrine, iba-iba lang yung questions. So, instead na basahin mo lahat yung questions, basahin mo lahat yung facts sa Supreme Court, basahin mo lang yung doctrine, alamin mo, namnamin mo yung doctrine, at pag nakabisado mo na kung ano yung what's the spirit behind the law, then okay na yan. Okay, what is the spirit behind security tenure? Let's go to anong pinag-usapan natin. Let's go to Article 3. Diba? But again, as I told you, yung Article 3, hindi ko yan napakabisado sa inyo ng verbatim kasi nga mahina ako magkabisado eh. Ang sa akin yung Supreme Court Squared. What is Supreme Court Squared? SSCC. Babalik talaga tayo doon sa mga basic. Kasi kung pag-usapan natin, security of tenure, balik ka sa Article 3 of the Labor Code. In essence, which provides the state assures the right of workers to security of tenure. That's the first S. Self-organization. Second S. Collective bargaining. The C. And the pinaka-importante, the last C, conditions of work which are just and humane. Bakit ko inuulit-ulit to? Kasi yung mga bagay na yan yung mga gusto ng mga examiner na makita sa papel nyo. Yan yung mga magic phrases, magic words na pag halimbawang nakita nila yan, bibigyan na nila kayo ng credit. And if you can accumulate the credit, hindi na kayo madi-disqualify. Accumulate more credit, hindi na kayo babagsak. Accumulate more credit, magtatap na kayo sa bar. Diba? What does Article 3 mean? I have to repeat. This means that a worker cannot be terminated from his job without just cause and due process in the Philippines. Because in the Philippines, ang hirap pong humanap ng trabaho. Your employment is your life. By 27, you already have to have a career. Tapos, pag natanggal ka sa trabaho mo, ang hirap na humanap ng panibagong trabaho. That's the end. Hindi lang para sa iyo, kundi para sa pamilya mo. Kaya dito sa Pilipinas, unlike in other jurisdictions, unlike in the United States, they can say, you're fired. Dito, hindi pwede. Remember, security of tenure is a paramount right of every employee that is held no less by the Constitution. Hindi lang ng Labor Code, hindi lang ng statutes, hindi lang ng implementing rules and regulations ng DOLE or ng NLRC. It is there in the Constitution. So, birahin yung ganon. Merong security of tenure. And kung may security of tenure, kailangan palaging merong just cause. Kailangan palaging may due process. Otherwise, magiging illegal yung termination. Magkakaroon ng katakot-takot na penalty. But in answering illegal dismissal cases, of course, pwede namang kumampi ka sa empleyado. Pwede rin kumampi ka sa employer. In both cases, magkakaroon kayo ng credit. Kasi nga, I mean, in the law school in Diliman, where I used to be a reviewer before I got tired, di ba? Palaging merong secondary answer. Palaging merong substitute answer. In fact, nagkakaroon nga pa ng pang-apat na answer eh. Yan yung mga sinasabi na, okay, merong primary answer, merong secondary, tertiary. Lahat yan may credit. So, kung hindi nyo talaga alam, most probably, kung ano yung eksaktong sagot, maybe you cannot cite the exact Supreme Court decisions kasi hindi ko nga sinasabi sa inyo na hindi ko ina-encourage kayo na magkabisado ng Supreme Court decisions. Tirahin nyo na lang ng mga magic words and magic phrases. Not necessarily, these are not necessarily, hindi to mga hindi to mga motherhood statements. Hindi. Kasi I had been also a mock bar examiner po several times. And pag nakita ko itong mga to, hindi ko kinukonsider na motherhood statements yan. These are creditable statement. So, tapos na tayo sa security tenure. Yun lang yun. Diba? It's a paramount right guaranteed by the Constitution where you're not supposed to terminate an employee without just cause and due process. Pupunta natin yan later. Punta muna tayo sa proportionality doctrine. Ito, creditable answer palagi ito. Creditable answer kasi maski na merong just cause, maski merong due process, pag in-apply mo yung, pag gusto mong kampihan yung empleyado and gusto mong magkaroon ng sure credit, i-apply mo yung proportionality doctrine. Ano ibig sabihin ng proportionality doctrine? Napakasimple lang. Ang ibig sabihin niyan is that you give the employee a second chance. Palaging, di ba may kantang ganon? Yung one more chance? Di ba? So, didiscuss pa natin yan later on kasi dapat ma-master niyo yung doctrine na yan. So, ano yung mnemonic ko? I have a mnemonic, SADME. Ano yung SADME? S-A-D-M-E. Malungkot ako. Sad me. These are the elements of proportionality doctrine. Yung S is service years. O yung years of service. Binaliktad ko lang para maging S. Service years. Yung A sa sad me is absence of derogatory record. Absence of derogatory record. Wala siyang record dating masama. Wala siyang ginawang masama dati. Well, ang sinasabi ng employer yan dati is kaya walang derogatory record yan kasi hindi namin nahuhuli. Ngayon lang namin nahuli. First time namin nahuli. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, hindi siya gumagawa ng kalokohan dati. Well, ano yung pinag-uusapan natin? That in the interpretations of labor law, it must always be in favor of the employee. So pag sinabi ng employee, sinabi ng batas na ang absence of derogatory record is an element of proportionality doctrine, sabihin mo doon sa employer, nek mo. Kung hindi mo nahuhuli dati, bahala ka sa buhay mo. Diba? You could have been negligent in management. Management negligence yan. Basta, ang absence of derogatory record is always an element of proportionality doctrine. What is the D in SADME? Damage is minimal on the part of the employer. Damage, lack of damage or minimal damage, maski na mayroong just cause, maski na may due process, kung yung damage, Diyos me yung mahabagin, di ba? Ano na damage sa'yo? Nung nagkaroon ng infractions, nung nagkaroon ng violations, di ba? May-ari ka ng napakalaking restaurant, di ba? Mayroong pusa dumating dito napakalaking restaurant may-ari ka ng napakalaking restaurant. 'Di ba? Nagnakaw yung waiter mo ng pagkain. Sanabi mo na yung mga leftovers is wag nilang iuwi. Inuwi mo, itatapon mo rin naman 'yun. 'Di ba? Pagdating ng gabi, pagdating ng 12 o'clock, itatapon mo rin 'yun. 'Di ba? Sa anong damage mo doon? Wala. So kung yun ang gagamitin mo, sasabihin mo is that there was a violation of the company rules against taking home leftovers. Pero tanungin mo, ano ba yung damage sa'yo? Kung wala naman damage sa'yo, then you can apply the proportionality doctrine because one of the element in that doctrine is that damage is very minimal or lack of damage. lack of damage. But of course, itong proportionality doctrine, hindi ito applicable sa lahat. Kaya nga SADMI, kasi what is M in SADMI? Yung managerial employee. Kung manager ka, hindi mag-a-apply ang proportionality doctrine. Nek-nek mo. 'Di ba? Manager ka, wag mo sabihin hindi proportional yung termination na ginawa sa kasi kung manager ka, 'di ba? Hindi applicable yang years of service. The more na dapat hindi ka gumagawa ng katarantaduhan sa employee sa trabaho mo kasi matagal ka ng manager, 'di ba? But again, go again. Pag-usapan nyo, ay isipin nyo ulit kung ano yung managerial employee. Kasi yung pinag-usapan natin, yung Lagahit versus Concord, di ba? Ang tawag sa kanya, manager. Pero in truth and in fact, hindi naman talaga siya manager. Di ba? Yung sales manager. Ano ba yung sales manager? Just to repeat, sales manager, I mean, kinikwento nga sa inyo, I mean, I was in the US, I was a store manager. Pero ibig sabihin, I mean, am I the manager contemplated by law na hindi pwedeng tanggalin, because of uh, uh, hindi applicable yung proportionality doctrine. Kung store manager ako, I do not manage people, I just manage the store, I open the store, di ba? I close the store, I sell the wares in the store. He is not the manager that we're talking about because sabi nga natin in Lagahit versus Concord, yung manager, dapat yung manager, you are implementing, yun, balikan nyo kung ano yung manager. Para nyo pwede sabihin applicable yung proportionality doctrine. Nandun yan doon sa nandun yan doon sa mga previous lectures ko kung who is a manager and who is not a manager. Pusa dito, ang iingay eh. Di ba? SADMI. Balik tayo doon sa SADMI, yung last E. Ano yung E? Evidence is insufficient. Kung wala na talaga kayong makapa, di ba? At gusto nyo pa rin talagang kampihan yung empleyado at gusto nyo i-declare na yung dismissal is illegal. 'Di ba? Maghanap kayo ngayon quantum of evidence. 'Di ba? Baka naman walang ebidensya. 'Di ba? Tirahan niyo naman ng knowledge nyo about evidence, rules on evidence. Ano ba yung quantum of evidence, 'di ba? Substantial evidence, 'di ba? Kung wala namang ebidensya, walang testigo, walang CCTV, pwede yung sabihin na there is no evidence that or that establishes that the employee has committed the infractions or has committed the violation or has committed the just cause. Doon nyo birahin. So, di ba, kung halimbawang considering all these things that I've already told you, meron ka ng pangsagot doon sa lintik na bar exam na yan, na magkakaroon kayo ng credit. Not necessarily memorizing or going into Supreme Court decisions. And this sagot are creditable. And ang nga diyan ang talaga namang laro diyan sa bar exam is get accumulation of credit, get credits until you reach the point na passing ka na. So again, doctrine of proportionality hinges on the concept one more chance. You give your employee one more chance. So, di ba? Service years of service. Tagal na niyang tatrabaho. 10 years. By the way, ano ba yung threshold ng sinasabing merong years of service? 'Di ba? Walang sinasabi ang Supreme Court kung gaano talaga yung years of service na, halimbawa, is it 3 years, 5 years, 10 years para masasabi mo meron na siyang years of service that will already apply the proportionality doctrine. Well, unfortunately, the Supreme Court did not give a threshold. But for me, yung more than 10 years is already considerable as enough years of service para i-apply mo yung proportionality doctrine. 10 taon na nagtatrabaho, walang ginagawang masama. 'Di ba? On the 10th year, gumawa ng kalokohan. I-disregard mo ba yung ano? I-disregard mo ba yung 10 taon na wala siyang ginawang kalokohan? Nagkakamali yung tao. Everybody is commit mistake. Hindi naman tayo perfect, 'di ba? At one point in time, nagkakaroon ka ng ano, nagkakaroon ka ng pagkakamali. 'Di ba? Hindi naman komo yung 10 taong kang perfect, on the last year, on the 11th year naging imperfect ka, yun ang yung 10 years na naging perfect ka, hindi na i-consider yun. So that's the point, 'di ba? You can say in your answer na dapat ang ginawa lang is sinuspend lang. Dapat ang ginawa lang is inano, na-reprimand lang. Dapat ang ginawa lang ay tawag diyan, siguro nagkaroon lang ng demotion. 'Di ba? Because these are also penalties, 'di ba? Which can be maski na may infraction, you can deem as proportional. Doon sa sasabihin nyo na the more proportionate penalty that should be imposed is this: demotion, suspension, reprimand. And the illegal the termination is not proportional. Yan, di ba? Creditable yan. Kakaroon kayo ng credit yan. So, the proportionality doctrine applies to serious misconduct, gross and habitual neglect gross and habitual neglect of duty, insubordination, even commission of a crime or fraud. Pwedeng mag-apply ang proportionality doctrine. It can also apply to fighting and quarreling inside the company premises. It also applies to the use of foul language. Minsan bigla kang nasigawan o bigla kang nainsulto, boss ka, 'di ba? Out of passion, out of obfuscation, bigla nag-flare up yung empleyado mo, bigla kang namura, 'di ba? Pero isang beses lang naman, napakabait naman 'yan, 'di ba? Kaya lang siguro hindi mo alam kung merong pinaghuhugutan yung pagiging ano niya, yung sudden burst of emotions, baka may problema sa pamilya, 'di ba? Niloloko ng asawa, nakabuntis yung asawang pulis, 'di ba? Yung mga ganon. It also applies to theft. It also applies to sexual harassment. It also applies to a case of immorality, intoxication, sleeping on the job, urinating on the job, incompetence, tardiness, absenteeism, abandonment, and other analogous cases. Proportionality doctrine applies. Okay. But, ano yung but? Diba? As always, there is a general rule and there is an exception. In applying the proportionality doctrine, babalik kayo doon sa isang element. What is the element that I'm talking about? Yung damages. 'Di ba? Maski na merong years of service, merong mas lack of derogatory record, maski na hindi siya manager, if the damage that was incurred by the company is too great, dapat hindi nyo i-apply yung proportionality doctrine kasi baka hindi kayo bigyan ng credit ng examiner. Balik tayo doon sa damage. Diba? Ano yung damage sa pinag-uusapan natin? Remember MUD, yung mnemonic ko? For you to know kung merong damage, substantial damage or wala. What is MUD? Monetary damage. That's the M. Yung undermining undermining of authority, which creates a hostile environment, and disruption of business operation. Disruption of other employees' work and business operation. Okay, hindi nyo i-apply yung proportionality doctrine na yan kung merong MUD, merong ano ba yung MUD sa Tagalog? Putik. Merong monetary damage, 'di ba? In one case, 'di ba, yung bank teller umalis siya doon sa kanyang umalis siya doon sa kanyang table, merong 500,000 siyang iniwan, pagbalik niya wala na, 'di ba? Eh, sabi nung bangko, oo nga, years of service, lack of derogatory record. Pero ang laki nung na-hit sa atin, kalahating milyon, lintik. So, monetary damage, substantial monetary damage calls for the non-application of the proportionality doctrine. Di ba? Yun. Teka, kawawa lang kasi ako ng battery. Yung undermining of authority. 'Di ba? Because what you did is that you undermine the authority of the employer. 'Di ba? Dahil sa you set a bad example. Uh, 'Di ba? Okay, absenteeism nga lang. 'Di ba? So supposedly dapat hindi masyadong, it should not be treated as a serious misconduct. Pero kung you undermine the authority of the employer, because yung mga iba, ginagaya ka, hindi na rin sila pumapasok, o absent na rin sila ng absent, o palit sila ng palit, tardiness. Diba? If you have a tendency to undermine authority, ito lalo na yung mga official ng union, mga officers ng union, kasi they set a bad example. Kung magkakaroon ng undermining of authority, ikaw ang ginagaya ng iba, you set a bad example, 'di ba? Then pag in-apply nyo yung yung proportionality doctrine, the examiner may not give you credit. Last but not the least, yung disruption of business operation. Umabsent ka, nasa iyo yung susi, hindi nakapasok yung mga ibang tao, na-disrupt yung business operation, o di kaya nagsuntukan kayo dun sa harap ng mga ibang empleyado, nagtakbuhan yung mga empleyado, hindi na silang nagtrabaho, na-disrupt yung business operation. So, be wary in applying the proportionality doctrine kung sa tingin nyo nagkaroon ng substantial damage. Kung nagkaroon ng substantial damage in the context of substantial monetary damage, undermining of authority, or disruption of business operation, do not apply the proportionality doctrine, because the examiner, if I'm the examiner, siyempre, iba-iba rin naman ang examiner, if I'm the examiner, I may not give you credit. And this is the reason why, when we have discussed, di ba yung notice to explain, di ba sinasabi ko, di ba, I taught you what is an ideal notice to explain. An ideal notice to explain must contain the extent of damage on the part of the employer. In order for a notice to explain to be a valid notice to explain, it must contain the extent of damage of the employer. So, hindi lang nakalagay doon na please explain in writing within 5 days why you should not be penalized for this reason, di ba? It must not only contain the narration of facts, the who, what, where, and what you had committed the infraction. Dapat the notice to explain must also contain the extent of damage on the part of the employer. Okay? So, another exception is that kung yung proportionality doctrine is always applied in cases of theft or pilferage, if theft or pilferage is due to poverty. Kung poverty related yung pilferage or yung theft, in the Supreme Court decision, most of the Supreme Court decisions at I've read, ayoko nang pabasa sa inyo, is that poverty related yung pagnanakaw, nagnakaw ng gamot, nagnakaw ng pagkain, nagnakaw ng pampapa-ospital, 'di ba? Hindi nagnakaw para magsugal, hindi nagnakaw para mambabae, hindi nagnakaw para bumili ng shabu, napilitang magnakaw in all the Supreme Court decisions that I've read na merong poverty related. There was a compulsion, a much bigger compulsion on the part of the employee to commit the theft or pilferage. Parang irresistible force. Naging irresistible sa kanya dahil mamamatay na yung anak, walang walang pagkain dahil yung asawa merong cancer, kailangan bumili ng gamot. So in you can apply the proportionality doctrine. Okay, Doc? So nakisa tayo. Dalawa na pala. Do sa split, nakadalawa tayo, security tenure and proportionality doctrine. Let's go to the incompatibility doctrine. What is that? What is the inimical to employer's interest doctrine? Ano yung magic words? Magic words. Ito yung mga, when I say magic words, ito yung mga salita na paulit-ulit na ginagawa ng mga Supreme Court sa mga ng Supreme Court sa mga decisions nila when they decide the case. Iba-iba yung facts, ito yung mga magic words. Ano yung but actually it started out in the Coca-Cola bottlers case where the Supreme Court said, kabisaduhin yun to, that an employer cannot be compelled to continue in employment an employee guilty of acts inimical to its interest. Anong simpleng salita niyan? Inimical to his interest, hindi nakakatulong sa kanya. Bakit ka kumuha ng empleyado kung hindi nakakatulong sa iyo? Kumuha ka ng empleyado, kaya mo sinesweldohan para magtrabaho sa iyo, para magbenepisyo ka, employer ka. Kung hindi nakakabenepisyo, nakakasama pa nga. Ano yung mga instances na sinasabi mo makakasama? Specific instances na sinabi mo nakakasama. He's a non-performing employee. Hindi nagpe-perform. Tamad, batugan. Nagtatago sa trabaho. May iwas-iwas. Diba? Yung kaming maintenance worker, palaging nandun sa sa malayo para hindi na uutusan. Siyempre, kung sino yung nasa harapan mo, yun ang uutusan mo. Non-performing. Performing nga, mali-mali naman. Inefficient, incompetent, bobo. Non-performing or performing but inefficient or specifically do sa mga sales people, those who cannot cope up with the quota. Meron kayong quota, di ba? Halimbawa, 10 a month ang dapat i-produce, 10 a month na dapat maibenta, nagbebenta 2, 3, but be worry about the quota. The quota must be applied across the board. Di ba hindi pwedeng halimbawa ito yung isang empleyado, ito yung quota mo sa kanya, 10, itong empleyado, ang quota mo sa kanya 6, itong empleyado 3, tapos pag meron kang kinakabisita ng ang quota mo 15. So, across the board, meaning the quota must be applied without double standard. Without double standard. Ano yun? Di ba? Sa Constitution yan, double standard of law. O double standard in the application of the law. Hindi dapat, walang it must be fair and it must be equal. The quota applications must be fair and equal across the board. Kung halimbawang nag-impose ka ng quota again, pagkatapos hindi across the board implementation yon, the employer can be attacked. And the employee cannot be said to be inefficient or incompetent because he cannot be applied the quota. If the quota is being applied to him in a substandard, in a wayward manner. So, yun na, di ba? Concepts ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Concepts, ideas, common sense. Pagganahin niyo ulo nyo. Gusto niyo maging abogado, pagganahin niyo ulo nyo. Mabait naman, pero walang maibuga, yan. It can be a just cause for dismissal. When can an employee be fired under this doctrine? Yun rin, kung merong damage, again, damage is MUD, monetary damage, undermining of authority, and disruption of business operations. Kung yung empleyado ay nag-create ng ganitong damages sa kumpanya, yun. So, did I already exceed my 45 minutes? Ang sabi sa akin kasi nung Netflix organizer is kailangan 45 minutes. So, hindi pa pala, 35. Meron pa. Okay, let's go to incompatibility doctrine. Pasensya na kayo, hindi ako tumitingin sa screen. According to my ophthalmologist, dapat daw wag kang titingin sa screen. Pag nagle-lecture ka, tumingin ka dapat sa malayo. And blink. Yun. So what is the incompatibility doctrine? Ano naman yan? Diba? Kung ang pinag-usapan natin kanina yung mga non-performing, inefficient, mga bobo, yung mga hindi nakaka-deliver, hindi nakaka-cope up ng quota, ano naman yung type ng empleyado dun sa incompatibility doctrine? Yon. Meron kayong mga empleyado, kung kayo yung mga employer, magagaling, matatalino, sumobra pa nga talino sa inyo, mga lintik. Diba? Pero, dahil nga sa kanilang katalinuhan, kagalingan, sumobra naman ang yabang. Diba? Kung kanina, ang pinag-uusapan natin dun sa ano ba yun? Sabi ko nga hirapan ako mag-memorize Doon sa inimical to the employer's doctrine, ang pinag-uusapan natin, yung efficiency, competency, performance, ang pinag-uusapan sa incompatibility doctrine, behavior, attitude, actuations, mindset, psychology of the employee. Magaling, pero gago naman. Nagdi-deliver, tarantado naman. So, dapat nyo bang ituloy yung kanyang employment? Yung mga sobrang pasaway, yung walang pakialam, yung mga nananadya. Unlike in the inimical doctrine rule, dun sa inimical doctrine rule, mga empleyadong walang ibubuga. Dito, may ibubuga, pero masama naman ang ugali. Just cause rin yan. Just cause rin yan. Diba? Okay, mag-cite tayo ng Supreme Court decision. Baka sabihin nyo, wala akong alam na Supreme Court decision. The case of Carbonilla. Carbonilla versus Cebu. Cebu People's Multipurpose Cooperative. Makaka-relate kayo dito because Carbonilla is a law graduate like you. He is not yet a lawyer, but he really acts like one. Diba? Abogadillo, lintik. Di pa nga abogado, makaporma na. Akala mo na, abogado na. Nagtatrabaho siya dun sa kumpanya, the Cebu People Multipurpose Cooperative. He was employed as a credit collection manager. And later on, he was assigned to be a human resource officer. And he's a very smart aleck. He always give his legal opinion, and kung inuutusan siya, ayaw niyang gawin, sasabihin niya palagi, no, alam mo, mali yung, mali yung inuutos niyo sa akin ano masama, he always argue with the CEO or the president of the company, citing the Philippine Law Dictionary. Kung ang basis mo ng Philippine Law Dictionary, hindi nga black, di ba parang hindi ka naman magaling. Wherein he maintained that he is not liable for insubordination. Gagawin niya, utusan siya, sasabihin niya, ayokong gawin yan, And pag pinag-NTE siya, sasabihin niya naman, I'm not liable for insubordination. Magsasite siya ng provisions do sa Philippine Law Dictionary. In addition, he oftentimes argues with his superior, again, citing the Philippine Law Dictionary. Ito yung yung mahilig siya yung konting kibot, makikipag-argumento, 'di ba? Diskusyon, debate, yun ang gusto niya. Imbes na gawin yung trabaho, sumunod do sa utos, makikipag-debate. Sino na ba yung debate ng debate? Sino yung mahiling makipag-debate? Diba, kami noon sa law school noon, pagkatapos yung punta kami sa Shakey's, magiinuman kami doon. Diba, kita mo yung pag yung talagang yung mga estudyante gusto na magmapatayan sa pakikipagdebate, alam na alam mo yung mga tertiary yan. Diba? Yung mga fourth year, inom lang ng inom, pagkatapos, magpapaalam na, pagbayaran na. Etong si Lintik na si Carbonilla, hindi ito huminto sa pagiging tertiary, graduate na. So, ano sabi na Supreme Court? Doon sa kaso ni Carbonilla na walang ginawa kundi makipagdebate. Magaling siya, magaling. Surely within the bounds of law, management has the rightful prerogative to take away dissidents and undesirable in the workplace. So, pwede pala yon na maski naman walang ginagawang masama, ay na walang ginagawang infractions, walang ginagawang violations, kung ang sabi ng Supreme Court, ang adjective na sinabi ng Supreme Court, undesirable. Undesirable. Ang sakit masabihan ka, undesirable, di ba? Carbonilla comes up with a smart aleck, as a smart aleck, who would even go to the extent of dangling whatever knowledge he has of the law against his employer in a combative manner. Every time his attention was being called for some inappropriate action, he should always show his book, the Philippine Law Dictionary, and would ask the CEO, undesirable siya. Diba? So, ano yung undesirable? What is undesirable? Ano siya, incompatible yung kanyang attitude, behavior, mindset, psychology. Kaya to incompatibility doctrine. Incompatible yung kanyang behavior sa pagiging employee. Incompatible in the sense na ang tingin niya, siya yung boss. Diba, I always have people around me telling me what to do, and I always tell them, hanggang ako yung dean ng law school, hanggat ako yung nandito sa lamesa at kayo nandyan sa harapan ko, ako masusunod. Don't have that incompatibility mindset na kayo ang boss. Hindi ganon. Ganon. So yun, para maintindihan nyo, di ba, you must the employee, the mindset of the employee must always be compatible to that notion, to that idea that he is just an employee. So I think I'm about to exhaust my 45 minutes. Tapusin ko na lang. Yung last but not least is the totality doctrine. What is the totality doctrine? Di ba? Ang just cause must always be serious. Just cause must always be gross. Just cause must always be habitual. We will discuss this later on. Di ba? In other words, for you to terminate an employee, there must always be a serious ground. There must always be a compelling ground. There must always be mud. There must always be putik. There must always be substantial monetary damage, undermining of authority, and there must always be disruption of business operation. Dapat ganon. Dapat grabe yung ginawa ng empleyado. But ano yung sinasabi ng totality doctrine? Under the totality doctrine, kahit hindi grabe, kung marami, at yung marami na yon pinagsama-sama mo, in total, pwede mo na ring tanggalin yung empleyado. But it's already 45 minutes. I have to cut this lecture. Sorry. Didiscuss ko sa susunod na lecture ko.